Hello and welcome to the Listening Post's unboxing channel on YouTube. Today I'm unboxing Yamaha's long anticipated brand new Yamaha R-N800A. This new MusicCast streaming amplifier is a couple hundred watts a channel. It's of course going to replace many of the older RN302, 402, 602, 803 kind of stuff. These are stunning, absolutely stunning amplifiers. Brilliant feature set. What makes this particular one unique is it has a combination of YPAO mic setup for each of the A and B speakers and a stunning 384-bit DAC on board. Yet it's a really achievable price point. So let's have a look. Firstly, packaging's full of compliance associated with all of these features, including some of the cool labels associated with Spotify and Apple AirPlay and Bluetooth and Q-bars and you name it. I mean, this thing is hugely well featured, so it's going to have a lot of stuff like that on it. On one end, we've got scannable information for the model and serial number. Somebody stuck a freight ticket on there as well. On one side, we've got a colour photograph. Now, this is actually a sticker of the R-N800, and inside it's actually depicted by the colour itself, which is black. Got a boring end and then an emulation. Opening these is really easy. They're taped closed with traditional clear packing tape, so getting into it's really easy. What we see is a significant amount of accessories and packaging. Now the first, and I'll open this one, is we've got a basic user manual. Right, so we've got basic warranty information, a basic sort of quick start guide, and this just talks about some of the usual things, what's in the box, how to quickly plug it in and get it operational. It doesn't really drill into things too much, it just sort of explains how you connect some speakers and how you use the radio tuner. Then we've got a little bit more comprehensive stuff there. We've got an invitation to Spotify, we've got product registration if you want to, worldwide representative offices, obviously again for warranty information. Then we've got an FM DAB aerial. Now here in New Zealand we don't have DAB, so of course you're just going to use it as an FM aerial. There's a detachable traditional IEC power cord. It's 2 pins, so there's no earth. And then we've got Yamaha's remote control. Very straightforward, relatively comprehensive actually. The batteries sit along the middle of the remote control, so once put in, makes it a nice, I mean you'll see it there. Okay. Once they're in, you get a nice little weight to the remote. It's not too heavy, and it's very easy to operate with either left or right hands, very straightforward. It operates the basics associated with the setup and navigation, along with the ability to turn on and off A and B speakers, push directly the inputs you would require, as well as navigate some of the harder to reach sections associated with setup. There's a couple of AA batteries, obviously for the remote control, and then Yamaha's setup mic, or YPAO microphone. This enables the amplifier to send out test signals through your speakers into your room and listen to the way that it reflects and reacts. And that's really important as far as getting that last essence of hi-fi out of this system. A couple of pieces of polystyrene. It is worth mentioning that Yamaha is working towards removing some of the polystyrene. The smaller RN600, which you'll see in a video up here, the smaller RN600 now features moulded cardboard, so it's great to see that they are taking small steps to reduce them, but unfortunately this particular one still uses polystyrene. Now lifting the amplifier out, having a look. Now firstly, what these videos really don't show is how weighty and well built something is. This is really quite heavy. It's got an excellent power supply off to one side, an acknowledgement that with that you're going to end up with an excellent amount of control and current to the load or the speakers you're going to connect. Nevertheless, the final piece of packaging is this sort of poly paper to ensure it arrives to you scratch-free. Now, looking at the amplifier. Firstly, we'll see the two sort of tone design that we've seen in the R-N800, one of the much larger MusicCast amplifiers. Instead of a centralized screen, which we've seen on predecessors like the R-N803 and R-N602, this one now has a beautiful sort of sub-chassis design, I guess, where this elegant perspex front with a display in the middle ends up offering a lovely sort of mix of design and function. We've got a Yamaha R-N800A screen printing on the front, a traditional switched power switch, a 6 1/4 inch headphone socket, and then where you will plug the YPAO mic. Now this is an input specifically for the YPAO setup mic. It's not a microphone input for karaoke. As soon as you plug that mic in, it will actually go to the setup associated with it, so it's excellent as far as an ease of use sort of thing. We've got here a toggle associated with the speakers, and it will cycle through along with information on the front display A, B, A plus B. Nice and easy. Beside it is a rotary encoder for the input selector, scrolling through all of them in a nice loop. You've got traditional bass, treble and balance controls in these sort of analog pots. And then, quite unique to Yamaha, the loudness adjustment as well. Then we see the ability to navigate through many of the features and setup, including finding podcasts and internet radio and all the music on your network and you name it, using this sort of comprehensive sort of chog control. So you can scroll it left and right, it's a rotary encoder, and then push it to enter. It helps with all manner of its setups. We've got the ability to set presets associated with the radio tuner and then get out of some of the setups or navigation menus and back up a little bit. Beneath the return button is a very discreetly printed connect. Now, as part of the setup, you're going to have to put this into a connect mode, like a broadcast mode, so that the app and the setup and all of these are sort of looking for each other. Pushing and holding it for a moment or two puts it into a connection mode and establishes it on your network. Then we've got a switch associated with Pure Direct, and that helps to remove the extraneous noise associated with running the display, as well as eliminating the signal through the front balance, bass and treble pots. Then we've got a classic rotary encoder for the volume. Now I'd encourage everyone to hang around for the photographs that I'll take, the close-up ones at the end, because we're going to light it up and we'll see the lovely elegant display at the front. There's a couple of little lights here associated with its wireless connections and Bluetooth, and then a screen print associated with DAB+. Tilting it forward, we'll see that it has excellent ventilation and a big power supply. This has quite a lot of current and control on board, and although it's rated at 100 watts, it'll easily exceed that into any sort of peak moment. On board, it's also got a 384 kilohertz DAC. It's running at 32 bits, and it's nice to see that they've added that next calibre of digital to analog converter in a relatively modestly priced amp. Looking at the side, we see it's not very deep. Sure, it's not tiny, but from a circuit topography perspective, it's always going to be a certain size, and it means that critical elements can be cooled and noisy elements are kept separate from ones that may collect and create a total harmonic distortion issue. Looking at the back, we see some of the cool features. Now, firstly, a removable IEC power socket, some information associated with its electrical compliance, and then scannable information associated with its serial number. We see very clearly the A and B speakers, very clearly labelled, and they've got a nice little fit and finish. They're ready for banana plugs, but they'll handle bare wires and things like that if required. Obviously, please be very careful if you're using a bare wire. Ensure that you're trimming just enough of the insulation off the cable and that there's no opportunity for any extraneous little pieces of wire to touch the back and potentially short the amplifier. We've got a couple of inputs at the back associated with servicing and warranty, a fixed network socket, always ideal for streaming, and then a wireless antenna. Beneath it is a USB socket. Now this is an asynchronous input associated with streaming from a computer or other related device. It's excellent to see that they've added this very high quality connection. Beside that we've got two separate coax digital inputs and then two separate optical digital inputs, very simply labelled optical 1 and 2 and coax 1 and 2. Centrally beneath those we see the DAB and FM coax or F-type connector, and beneath that a trigger out enabling it to turn on power amplifiers or something like that, and then a subwoofer output independently being able to control that too. Beside it we see a feature exclusive to the R-N800 and above, which is the pre-out. It means that potentially you could use this in a much larger setup, buying the feature set associated with it and maybe running a couple of modest speakers elsewhere. Shut them off and run this into a big power amp for the times that the load really needs to be demanding. There's also a dedicated phono input with a ground connection and then a series of basic analog inputs. We've got two analog ones simply labelled 1 and 2 and then one dedicated to CD. So there we have it. This brand new and long awaited R-N800. Brilliant streaming amplifier, all part of Yamaha's MusicCast ecosystem. Very proud to share this with you and unbox it here at the listening post in Christchurch, New Zealand. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe to our channel.